Good day, everyone. We are the Group 5 and we are here to discuss the Department of National Defense. So, first, we have here the Commonwealth Act Number 1, or also known as the National Defense Act, created the Council of the National Defense to advise the President on all matters pertaining to national defense policy. So, National Defense Act was passed by the Philippine National Assembly on December 21, 1935. And the purpose of this act was to create an independent Philippine military consisting the regular and reserve forces, including the offshore patrol and the Philippine Constabulary Air Corps. And this act was signed into a law by the President of the Commonwealth Government, none other than Manuel Quezon. So next we have the Commonwealth Act number 430. So it was approved on May 31, 1939 as implemented by the Executive Order number 230, or also known as the Reorganizing the National Economic and Development Authority, signed on October 31, 1939. So back to the Commonwealth Act number 430. So it is an act to create the Department of National Defense and the Department of Health, including the public welfare. So this act consists the protection of the health of the people, maintenance of sanitary condition, and the proper enforcement of laws relative to health, sanitation, and social services. It also includes the necessary funds for the organization and establishment of these departments. Executive Order Number 94, charged with the DND with the duty of supervising the national defense program of the country. So this also created the Philippine Ground Force, the Philippine Naval Patrol, forerunner of the Philippine Navy, as one of the major commands of the AFP. Next, we have the Executive Order number 292. So the Administrative Code of 1987 directed to DND to exercise executive supervision over the armed forces of the Philippines, the Office of the Civil Defense, and the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, the National Defense College of the Philippines, and lastly, the Government Arsenal. It also lays down the basic policies of the systems and procedure by which the organization and operation of the bureaucracy are to be based, including the personnel administration aspect. Functions of Department of National Defense, or DND. Number one, it is tasked with the responsibility of providing the necessary protection of the state against external and internal threats, directing, planning, and supervising the national defense program, maintaining law and order throughout the country, and performing other functions as may be provided by law. So let's further discuss what is the difference of um, internal and external threat. So, for example, for the example of external threat is war and aggression towards foreign government, and the internal threat is like uh, the local rebels such as NPA, Abu Sayyaf, and Multi Group. Number two, it is charged with the duty of supervising the national defense program of the country. It is also has responsibility for overseeing field operation to ensure the judicious and effective implementation of national defense and security programs. Number three, it exercises executive supervision over Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP. The government arsenal, or GA. These are the responsible for the production of basic weapon and ammunition for AFP. And the Office of Civil Defense, the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, or PVAO, And the term veteran refers to all military personnel who served during Spanish American Revolution, Japanese occupation, and Korean conflict. And the National Defense College of the Philippines.
So next is we will going to discuss the organizational structure of the Department of the National Defense. So first is we have the SND, or the Secretary of National Defense. As we can observe, it was the head of the Department of the National Defense, and under here are the personal staff of civilian and military. Under the personal staff of civilian is we have the IAS, or it stands for the International Audit, wherein it conducts management and operations audits of the functions, process, and programs of the department. Next is the HEA, or Head Executive Assistant. And for the personal staff of military, we have the USMA, or the Office of the Senior Military Assistant, that are tasked to supervise and coordinate the functions of the military personnel. And the DISG, or Defense Intelligence and Security Groups, who provides the protection and the critical intelligence support to the Secretary of National Defense. And the protocol office here is they are the one who set the standard rules for the Department of National Defense. Next are the undersecretaries. We have the USFM, or it stands for the Undersecretary for Finance and Material, and under it is the BAC, the BAC, or Bids and Awards Committee, wherein they facilitate the overall bidding process of the department. Bidding is just like the overall order of the facility of the committee there. And the USCVRA, or is the Undersecretary for Civil, Veterans, and Reserve Affairs. USND, or Undersecretary for National Defense. USDO, or Undersecretary for Defense Operation. And lastly is the USDP, or Undersecretary of Defense for Policy. And next are the Assistant Secretaries. So first is the ASIST, or the ASIS, ASLA, or Assistant Secretary for Logistics and Acquisition. ASFM, or Assistant Secretary for Financial Management. The ASHR, or the Assistant Secretary for the Human Resources. ASPP, or Assistant Secretary for Plans and Programs. AIA, or the Assistant Secretary for Assessment and International Affairs. And we also have the services. So there are 4: the admin, the public, the management info system, and the legal affairs. So further discussions about these organizations will be discussed on the next slides. So next slide. So in here, this as I do my research in our report, I saw that there is a current organizational structure of the Department of National Defense. And as we can observe, there are some changes on the names of the offices and the structure of the organization. So for the responsibilities of Secretary of National Defense is that the Secretary of National Defense exercises authority, direction, and control over the department, which includes the separate organization military departments of Army, Navy, Air Force, the Joint Chiefs of Staff providing military advice, the Unified and Specified Combatant Commands, and various defense agencies established for specific purposes. So the Secretary of Defense is of course in charge of the Department of the Defense, which compromises as said that the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, as well as the Joint Chiefs of the Staff, the Unified and the particular military commands, and several defense agencies. So for the responsibilities of Secretary of National Defense, for example, is that the Secretary of the National Defense must provide a plan or direct the strategy in protecting the country, so from external or internal threats, and in maintaining, of course, the law and the order in our country. So, if we will go back to the organizational structure, you have the personal staff of the military. We have the three, wherein they are the USMA, or the Office of the Senior Military Assistant, wherein I told a while ago that they coordinates the functions of the military. And for the DISG, the Defense, Intelligence, and Security Groups, they also provide the protection and critical intelligence support to the Secretary of National Defense and the protocol, who set standard rules for the department. And next is the responsibilities of the undersecretaries of the Department of National Defense. So first is that they advise the Secretary on the promulgation of the department orders, administrative orders, and other issuance. So they advise and they concerned Secretary or the Undersecretary on administrative orders or other matters. Next, exercise control and monitoring over the units and persons under its commands. There. Third, promulgate rules and regulations consistent with department policies. So promulgate just like means to make known publicly or announce. So they will going to announce the rules and regulations that will successfully implement the actions of units and individuals under its supervision, and it accordance with the department policies. Next, coordinate the functions and activities of units and personnel. That was the responsibility with those of units and personnel under the responsibility of the other undersecretaries. So coordinate, it's just like the process of organizing people or groups so that they will going to work properly and well. Just like the Office of the USVR, or the Undersecretary for Civil Veterans and Reserve Affairs, wherein they advises and assist the Secretary of the National Defense. Next is they exercises delegated authority on substantive and administrative matters related to the functions and activities of units and personnel under its responsibility. And they perform other functions as may be provided by law or appropriate assigned by the Secretary. So the undersecretaries must follow or perform the assigned law of the Secretary. So those are the responsibilities of the undersecretaries of the Department of National Defense.
Okay, next let us proceed to the responsibilities of Assistant of Department of National Defense. Like every public servants have various responsibilities. For example, everyone in this department has a role. Okay, let us proceed to the first responsibilities.
assist the Secretary on all matters regarding foreign policy planning and studies. They should assist the minister with all aspects, need help and support in accordance with the responsibilities properly. And need to be guided in all aspects to prevent making mistakes. And next, provide or participate in the secretariat functions for cabinet and department level committees on dealing on foreign policies. Participate in attribution to demonstrate support for the department and to share information with other countries in effort to enhance knowledge. And third one, lead or participate in interagency subcommittees dealing on foreign policy matters. Next, undertake department-wide integration, rationalization, and evaluation of the political, diplomatic, and security plans and programs including current and prospective department-initiated foreign treaties and agreements. Next, initiate and maintain or assist in maintaining the integration and rationalization of economic, trade, finance, scientific, and tourism plans and programs. And provide the Secretariat for an interagency annual National Foreign Policy Planning Conference. And then conduct an annual department-wide planning and program evaluation conference. And then to the next, undertake policy and strategic studies relevant to its functions. Next, initiate, coordinate, and integrate the planning foreign policy. And then last, perform other related functions as may be assigned by the secretary. Not only one obligation, but another duty. Since as a public sector employee, you have a lot of responsibilities to uphold, not only one.
Okay, so good day to everyone. My name is Everloyd Bigakap, and now let us proceed to the next slide, which is the responsibilities of services of DND or Department of National Defense. So, first on our list is to advise the secretary or undersecretary concerned regarding administrative and financial matters. So what do you mean by undersecretary? Undersecretary by definition is the one who assists the secretary in the formulation and implementation of the department's policies, plans, and programs. They also serve as the secretary's deputy in matters relating to the operations of the department. So in a classroom setting, imagine natin, undersecretary is somewhat like the vice president, in a classroom setting. So next on our list we have is to develop and supervise the implementation of an integrated personnel plan. Okay, so personnel plan, parang responsible din sila sa paggawa ng personnel plan since it helps in budgeting for the current and future employers. Lahat naman ata ng departments or any organization may ganito yung personnel plan. Okay, so next on our list, develop and maintain an efficient and effective property procurement, maintenance, and security system. Establish a department-wide asset control system. Okay, so paano ba to? Procurement, okay? Takal natin to. Is yung process of finding and agreeing to terms, acquiring goods and services, yun daw yung Yun nga, procurement na yan. So, sa department-wide asset control system naman, which I've research, I think is yung tumutukoy sa assets ng department like employers, buildings, and monetary assets na mismo. Tuloy tayo. To undertake the budgeting, finance, and accounting functions of the department and develop efficient system and procedures in this regard. I think self-explanatory naman na, wala namang masyadong ikon dito. So yeah, guys, medyo gets naman ng lahat sa list na to. Okay, so proceed tayo sa last. To perform other related functions as may assigned by the secretary. Okay na, okay lang. I think okay na at din na ata yun. Ito yung kumbaga sa set of examples or list. Ito na yung others, ganun. Etc. ganun. Yung last part na to. So, that's it for the responsibilities of services. Tuloy tayo sa the administrative service shall have the following constituent. Tuloy tayo sa next na slide. Sorry. So the administrative, pakikat na lang yung part na yun. Proceed tayo sa next na slide, which is the administrative service shall have the following constituent offices. First, we have is the Office of Personnel Management. Sa office na to, sa OPM in simple, it handles recruitment, hiring, placement, and salary of current and future employees. Next, we have here is Office of Budget and Finance. Office of Budget and Finance, to ensure the equitable, prudent, transparent, and accountable allocation, yun nga, sa allocation of the budget sa department mismo. Lastly, we have is the Office of Property and Asset Control. This office, mentioned is somewhat as specific in what I have said kanina sa yan nga sa responsibilities sa previous slide. Responsibilities and services ng Department of National Defense. Ito sa asset. So I guess that's it for my one. I'm out.